Coming into this race, we had just finished a massive battle to break into the top 10 after starting from P20. For this round, I put a huge focus on qualifying. I managed to put down a 2:06.001, which landed us in the P4 seat on the grid. Honestly, for most human beings, that is a fantastic qualifying time. Anything faster than that and you are basically an alien. But the race itself started with immediate tension. In turn 1, I bumped the car in front of me and had to react instantly, throwing my car to the left of the circuit just to save it. That cost us 2 positions right away, dropping us to P6. Then, chaos unfolded. That same white Toyota failed the left hook and took a black Toyota out with him. I managed to avoid the initial wreck by going off track, but my rejoin, it was bad. I rejoined like a butcher and destroyed someone else's race. I want to say right now, I am truly sorry and deeply regretful for that. It puts a real weight on my heart when I do something like that. You spend time preparing, you wait in the session, and then an idiot, in this case me, ruins everything for you in the very beginning. To the driver of that car, I am sincerely sorry, my friend. By the time the dust settled from that opening lap, we had fallen all the way back to P11. That is where our journey back to the front truly began. Moving into the next phase of the race, the recovery began. At the start of the horseshoe, both the driver in P10 and I managed to move up 1 position by holding the inside line through turn 1. It was a tight squeeze, but we made it work. However, the pressure was starting to weigh on me. By the time I reached the left hook, I was already sitting at 10 incident points. That is a dangerous place to be with 10 minutes of racing left on the clock. I knew I was one small mistake away from a disqualification, which made every corner feel twice as long. We kept pushing, and after the snake at turn 6, another opening appeared. A car had slowed down on the left side of the track, and both P9 and I were able to move up 1 more position. We were clawing our way back into the points, but I was driving on a knife's edge, knowing I couldn't afford a single off-track for the rest of the session. We reached the oak tree sitting in P8. I was doing everything I could to avoid more incident points, so I deliberately took the outside line and let my opponent through to navigate one of the most dangerous sections of the circuit safely. I managed to pull back in front of him on the back straight, but he kept the pressure on. Remembering how many races end at the roller coaster from my previous session, I chose to back off there. I didn't want to be the reason for another wreck. That patience gave me a better exit from the Hog Pen, and I caught up on the front straight. Together we passed P7 and went head-to-head into the horseshoe, but then we hit a major setback. I had likely cut the track at the exit of the roller coaster and was hit with a 1.6 second slowdown penalty. I made the call to burn that penalty right there in the horseshoe. By the time I reached the exit of the horseshoe and headed toward the left hook, I had dropped all the way back to P11. However, the drivers ahead of me were also struggling with that section. I caught up at the NASCAR bend and saw an opening. I sent a massive dive bomb from the inside that moved me back into P10. I carried that momentum into the left hook, where I took the inside and cut the curb perfectly. It was a controversial, Verstappen-style move to stay in front of P9 and complete the takeover. Just after that, the car behind me went off the track in a terrible incident that probably ended his race. That gave me a 1.2 second gap at the exit of the Oak Bend and some much-needed breathing room. After the chaos of the middle laps, things settled into a high-speed pursuit. I spent almost 2 full laps chasing down the drivers in P8 and P7. It was a game of inches, waiting for any small mistake or a slight drop in their pace. That opportunity finally came at the Hog Pen. I managed to get a much better exit, carrying more speed onto the straight. It seemed like the driver in P8 might have picked up a slowdown penalty because I was able to increase the distance rapidly. This really shows you just how dangerous and tricky Virginia International Raceway is. Every corner demands respect, but especially the Hog Pen. It is a make-or-break section of the track. If you have a bad exit there, it can easily cost you 300 to 400 milliseconds. In a field this competitive, Losing 3 or 4 tenths of a second on that front straight is enough to let 2 or 3 cars sail right past you. By lap 6, we were back in the heat of it. At the horseshoe, I saw my opening, and I managed to send it in, holding the inside line perfectly. The car in front of me couldn't match the angle. He went way too deep into the turn. By sticking to that inside line, I managed to snatch the position and move up to P7. He chased me strongly through that entire sector, putting a lot of pressure on my mirrors, but I stayed focused. I managed to pull away from him by the end of the left hook and finally settle into P7. At that moment, I felt like this was a solid place to be. I knew this finish would give me a decent boost in iRating, even if I had to sacrifice some safety rating to get there. It is honestly so difficult to increase both of those metrics at the same time. It feels like a constant trade-off. Then, right at the start of the white flag lap, an opportunity appeared. The driver in P6 made a mistake at the horseshoe and went off track. I caught him just as he was attempting to rejoin and quickly moved past him, which moved us up into P6. It was the perfect way to finish a hard-fought race, securing a top 6 result after that chaotic start. This P6 finish gave us 44 points toward the cause, which is a massive step forward. On the other hand, our safety rating dropped 0.16, a pretty significant hit. What this race really highlighted is how much Virginia International Raceway demands from you. Every single corner affects your lap times here. Most importantly, your exits out of the oak tree, the roller coaster, and the hog pen determine your speed on the straights. And while the horseshoe is the biggest overtaking spot, your success there depends entirely on how well you handle the NASCAR bend and the left hook. It was a wild ride, with some moments I regret, but we are moving forward. If you enjoyed this journey back to the front, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to follow the road to 2000 iRating. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.